So working on something a little different. A hot rod. I don't know if I put this on the channel yet or not, but I bought this little 31 Roadster a few months back. Little flathead V8 dual intake. Those are Speedway 9 Super 7s. Runs pretty good, but I got some issues that I want to work on, and one of them being the interior. The carpet is the cheapest automotive carpet you can buy, and I'm going to update that. So I'm working on pulling the seat, the little seat, and then I'm going to put in some German square weave like this. Let's see. It's a much nicer quality carpet. Just basically it's kind of like a commercial loop carpet. Call it German square weave black. It just looks a better finish and should last longer than this other carpet. And no offense to the installer, previous owner, but he just kind of cut pieces to fit best he could, and then covered it up. Some cheap insulation. I don't know if you can see there's the insulation. It's just some cheap insulation and the cheaper carpet. I got some new insulation. Silas Sound Deadener Thermal Shield. There you go. In case you think you might want to get some. Silas Sound Deadener. I think I just got this off of the eBays. But anyway, it's a little nicer. Not very thick. I think this, I don't know what this is, 5mm or something. But it's got a sticky back. 200 mil, they say it is. Hybrid sound deadening mat. Well, there you go. So this is the side that would be what the carpet's on. And then this side's sticky. You peel and stick it. And I'm gonna put that in place of this other stuff. And then that square weave over the top of it. And try to keep it all in one piece. I'll cut it down and make cuts as appropriate, but I'm not gonna cut it into a bunch of little pieces. I'm gonna make it one piece. I think I might also do this edge, because this edge just glued down edge, and with a loop pile, that's not always the best idea. So I might actually I'm not sure if I'll put a little sill on there. I might create a sill right here just to screw on top of it, or, which might not be a bad idea, just create a little metal sill plate that fits on there, because the door closes up here. So I could put a little metal seal plate across the top there, which would hold the carpet down as well. And I could maybe make it cool, engrave it or something. Anyway, I'll let you see my progress whenever I get there, whatever's next. Gotta pull the seat and pull the carpet. All right, so seat and carpet removed. Looks like the rattle can the floor board, which I guess is good. I gotta remove some of the cheap insulation stuff. You just use this silver backed bubble, basically a bubble wrap with silver on either side. So I don't know, might have worked for sound deadening. And then, as I said, the cheap ass carpet, which, you know, is fine, but doesn't last very long. Gets chewed up pretty quick just with the feet and stuff. So So I'm going to, well, this will end up being a pattern for the new, sort of. We'll see how, more like that. Anyway, that'll be a pattern, kinda, for a rough new piece. First I gotta clean this up a bit, vacuum it out, and then I gotta run a channel and cover those wires up a little better, maybe put them in some rubber or something so they don't get, end up with the ground somewhere because somebody stepped on the wires. All right. Alexa, pause. All right. Progress. So, sneeze. Yes? No. Yes? Ugh. Goodness. Must be the dust. All right, so there's progress on the sound deadener in here. I've got a bit more, and I removed the kick panel there and put a little piece up there. I'm gonna put some, I don't know if I'll go all the way up underneath there, but maybe. Anyway, there's progress so far. All right, sound deadener done. So now I think I'm gonna get some 1/4-inch closed cell, glue that down, and then I'll work on creating a pattern for the carpet and then glue that down. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue the doghouse first with the carpet with that German square weave, and then I'll create kind of an outline and put a border on the carpet around there, like a what do you call it, an edge on the carpet. We'll see. And I think I'll bring the carpet clear up, and then if I don't like how that turns out, then I can put a sill on here. But I think I'll glue the carpet down to this and put an edge on it right there as well. So on the carpet, I mean an edge. I have I don't know if I showed it. I think I did. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Done for today, though. All right, so a test piece with the trim around it. I'm not sure that's heavy duty enough. It's just cotton, but if I don't wear it too bad, it should look good. Obviously, I need to work on my sewing technique, but the wife's Singer sewing machine will work, so that's awesome. All right, so yeah, got the holes for the seat kind of burned in, and everything's glued down, and now I've glued, hard to see back there, but I've glued the firewall carpet in. That looks pretty good. So what you can see of it. Next step, I think, is to do the transmission hump or the doghouse, glue it down, and then I gotta figure how I'm gonna do the rest of it. All right, so been working on the carpet. Where am I at? So I got the back wall and the transmission tunnel covered, and I'm working on this side. The chalk lines are rough, so I can trim it, and then I am going to put a trim or an edge like I did this piece like that. I'm going to put that on that piece and trim it from here all the way up there, so it looks like a floor mat, and then everything, all of this is going to get glued down. Then the driver's side is going to be a separate mat, and it's going to get, it won't be glued down, it'll be removable so you can get to the master cylinder. So yeah, I got to finish cutting this down a little further, and then I will sew on the trim. And that's where I'm at right now, still cutting it. All right, we'll try again. Where am I at? So I have cut pretty much to size. Still have to do the back, trim it up, but I'm going to do that when I glue it down. But I've cut passenger side. I trimmed this edge, you can see. That's what the edge is going to look like. This part is all going to get glued down, but that's the trim. Close up. It's not, you know, my stitching's not perfect, but I can't complain. I got to trim the inside edge here. That's going to be a little more challenging with the curves and going around, and then trim. I'm going to trim clear down to here. So that's to the doghouse. This is going to come around and be trimmed all the way along the white line, and then this part, which is the driver's side, will be removable. This is where my little Boxo goodies, latches. I think I showed this before, but I'll show it again. These little guys will be put underneath the carpet. All right. So we'll have one underneath right there ish. Put a hole through it, and the carpet will have this in it, in the carpet itself, and that's, and that's what'll hold it down. So you've got, and that's just the washer to hold it between the carpet and stuff. But anyway, that goes there. Then you twist it and lock it. So, and you can see it has teeth, right? So that'll go in the carpet. This goes on the back side. The washer piece goes on the back side. Burn my hole through there, probably with a like a wood iron, wood, what the hell do you call those things? Soldering iron-ish, like that. Just burn a hole in the carpet right there. I'll screw this underneath, down through and into the, I may even cut out that little, I may cut out around it, the padding. So it sits a little lower, right? And, but anyway, yeah, screw that down into the bottom, then that'll go up through the carpet, and this will have a hole in it and hold it down. So I'll have probably one here, you know, mix it up. So there'll be one back here, maybe two back here, but this whole piece will be removable. I'll put one up there in the footwell on either side, one next to the steering column on that side, one up here on that side. I still have to trim this all up. I'm going to put the edging or the binding on the edge of this all the way around. So this piece will have binding all the way around it. The passenger side will have the binding all the way around from here, all the way around the doghouse, up and around. So that's my next step. Once I get this all trimmed where this is going to fit, I'm gonna go stitch the binding on the passenger side. So that's what I'm doing right now, is cutting this so these guys match up nice and neat to each other. Yeah, so those two will have binding on either edge where that seam meets right there. Gotta do a better job with the showing you, but anyway, right there, yeah, where the seams come together, I'll have binding on either side. And then I'm gonna do the same binding right here on this edge where it meets the door, but I'll trim it off literally flush with that edge, like there. And then I'll have binding on there, and then I'll have, like I said, one or two pieces to hold it down back here. So I'll have it here, probably put one right up here somewhere too, so it'll hold flat, because your feet really won't catch that thing, especially if I put these down below with the thickness of the carpet and the thickness of the pad. That only comes up 1/4 inch, so that'll hold it down pretty tight. And this part here is under the seat, so you won't even see it. All of this is under the seat, all of this here. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. See where I get, and I'll catch up. All right, quick update in the process of gluing it down. So I've already glued down contact cement and that half of the backside. This is the rest of the backside that'll be glued down. So I'm waiting for contact cement to set, and then we'll paste that one down, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get there. But yeah, there you go. Just using just a quick contact spray, contact cement. Just about out, had just enough to glue all this down. I might use different type when I do the driver's side, but that'll be removable, so I'm just gonna glue a backing, literally almost like the twill edging to the back of it, just to stiffen it up a little bit. But anyway, there you go. All right, passenger side and transmission hump under seat all installed. Pretty happy. I think that'll work just fine. I got to redo the kick panels. They're not big enough. They're a little short. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a gap back there before it actually ends. So I'm gonna have to redo those. Such is the life of hot rod stuff, but yeah, just have to finish the driver's side, but I'll have to wait. I'm done working for the night, so yeah, next time. All right, where am I at? Put the seat in another time, in and out, in and out. That's how it goes, but I have the driver's side pretty much finished. There you go. That's what everything's gonna look like. I'm contemplating, because I don't want to trim and do that edge. I basically ran out of thread on this last piece right here, and I don't want to go get more thread. So I'm thinking I'm gonna glue the upper half of this piece of driver in. I put a backing on it. I'll show you that. So it's got the backing on it all the way across, glued to it, and then access to I put some of the wood I glued as backing on over that access door for the brakes. So it finishes neater, and I think I might glue and do the same thing around it so it finishes neater. And then I'm gonna glue the upper half, so you just fold it up like that to get access, And then I only have to put on a couple of clips here, here, and here, and then around over here when you tuck this in, put it over the clip probably, maybe right here somewhere. So that finishes right nice up against the edge there. You can see that. Covers up the bolt for the seat over to my seam and across, so it finishes in there nice and flat and neat. Need to vacuum it, but yeah, so I think I'm going to glue the upper half down, leave the lower half loose, and put those little retaining clips in there. Like, yeah, kind of where I'm probably going to move them out a little bit from where I had the previous chalk marks, but yeah, like here, here, and there. And maybe one right here. Hold this down in the back, but it's probably not going to go anywhere. The key is kind of keep it away from that edge a little bit so that if the door moves different than this, it doesn't fray this edge. But yeah, that's basically finished carpet. I might show a short where I put those clips in, but I think this is going to finish the video. Because there it is, carpet, new carpet in the hot rod. Yeah. All right, so I thought I'd show the little clips. So there's the clips, 2 of them are in. That one I still got to work on. And I don't have the underside because I need to get some longer bolts, bolt heads or whatever, but there's what it's going to look like right there. That's what it's in, right? Down, in, and some fuzz in there. That's it. That's what's holding it to the edge, and it's under the seat. We got the seat in. I still have to, as I said, I still have to put the underside clip in here for these 3 because what I have, screws, the screws are not good. I'm gonna need to bolt it down. The screws kind of work there. I ended up using some JB weld and some other stuff to hold that in a little tighter, but that's how it's gonna finish. So there it is, carpet finished. The edge, the doghouse. I haven't glued that side in yet, so that's why I haven't put the kick panel in. I still gotta glue that upper side down. Until I finish these guys, I can't glue it down, obviously. So I ran out of go today. And the seats are giving me a hassle trying to get the bolt back in to get the seats bolted down. I got the front end and this side bolt back in this corner, but yeah, well, I got the middle one. The 2 middle seat belts are in, but the outer seat belt's not in, and the outer bolt on the back is not in yet because it's a super hassle. It's so low. And I think I am going to put some spacers in there, get longer bolts, put some spacers, and raise that seat up maybe 2 inches. I like the tilt, but I don't think it sits high enough. But I wanted to get it back together so I could at least start driving it again as the weather's getting warmer. But yeah, there's what the carpet looks like finished in there. Pretty happy. All right.